Hi children, welcome back to the second part of the first war of independence 1857. In the last class we have learned few causes that led to the revolt of 1857. So what are the causes? Political causes, socio-religious and economic causes, isn't it? Now when it comes to the political causes, what are the political causes that led to the revolt of 1857? The doctrine of Lats, subsidiary alliance, then unfair attitude towards the Mughals, then annexation of Awadh and Berar, then comes stopping the pension of Nana Sahib. These are the causes, these are the political causes that led to the revolt of 1857. Then comes, what are the social causes, socio-religious causes? Fear of mass conversion. Then General Service Enlistment Act of 1856. Then comes the widow's remarriage. And we learned about the laws of employment of the Pandits and Mullahs. Then comes economic exploitation. What are the economic exploitation? Ruin the trade and handicrafts of the Indians. Then comes India was turned into an agricultural colony. The impoverishment of the peasants. These are some of the economic causes that led to the revolt of 1857. Are we clear? So we have learned all those political, socio-religious and economic causes. Now today we are going to learn about the military causes. What are the military causes that led to the revolt of 1857? So what are the military causes? Meager British troops in India. The ratio between the British soldiers and the Indian soldiers was very low. This encouraged the sepoys to take up arms in 1857 AD. Then also, higher jobs and salaries were given only to the English people. Salaries to the English army only. So they have given, for the Indians, they gave only the rank till Subedar. The high ranks they have given only to the English people. Then comes the General Service Enlistment Act. At the same time, they ill-treated the Indian troops. And another one is the disbanding of the troops. These are some of the causes that made the Indian people to revolt against the Britishers. Then another one, the main cause was the immediate cause. So what was the immediate cause of the revolt? The immediate cause says that the greased cartridges were used in the army. That means the soldiers had to bite the end of the cartridge with their mouth or with their teeth. Before using it, they have to open with the teeth. So the cartridges was greased with what? The fat of the cows and fat of the pig. So this gave a great blow to the Hindus and the Muslims. Now let us learn about the consequence of the first war of independence. Now what are the consequences that led to the first war of independence? First one is the changes in the administrative setup, that is end of company's rule. Then comes the Queen's Proclamation. The Queen's Proclamation in 1858. That means the policy towards the Indian princes and the chiefs. Then comes the end of the company's rule. Then comes the promises to the people. Then changes in the changes in the army organization. Then comes introduction of the budget system. Then the main point is the policy of divide and rule. Then increase the economic exploitation of India. Then the rise of nationalism in India. These are some of the consequences of the first war of independence. So now let us learn one by one. What are the changes in the administrative setup? What are the changes in the administrative setup? the rule of East India Company came to an end. That means the Queen Victoria became the Queen of India. That means it transferred the power to govern India from the East India Company to the British Crown. Then comes the Board of Control was abolished and the Board of Directors had no powers left. Then comes the Secretary of the State was to be assisted by 15-member India Council. Of this, 9 should have resided or served in India for at least 10 years. Then comes, you know about Lord Canning was the first Viceroy under the Act of 1858. So he was selected as the first Viceroy of India under the Act of 1858. Now let us learn about the Queen's Proclamation of 1858. The British government would not annex the Indian states. All the treaties that the princess had concluded with the East India Company would be honored. Then comes the doctrine of lapse was abandoned and the right to adoption was recognized. That was very important for the Indian people. The doctrine of lapse was abandoned and the adoption was recognized. So the office of the Peshwa was also abolished. This was some of the Queen's proclamations done in 1858. Then comes the policy of divide and rule. Now what are the policies of divide and rule? They divide the India into two. How? Soon after the war of 1857, the government turned against the Muslims and discriminated them in services favoring only for the Hindus. When they started favoring only the Hindus, there was a wedge between the Hindus and the Muslims. That means they create a wall of separation even to the princes and the chiefs. So they create a wall of separation. The British assured the princes to end the policy of annexation. And also, the army was reorganized on the basis of divide and rule. That is, martial versus non-martial, and the Europeans versus the Indians. Then comes, we know that we have learned many other points are there, but very important one is the rise of nationalism in India. What are the? Why the people were against the Britishers? They have a deep sentimental nationalism. They have a deep love towards their country. That means the patriotic people, they wanted to unite into one. So the first war of independence of 1857 AD became a symbol of challenge and proved to be a great incentive to the continuation and further rise in the spirit of nationalism in India. There are many great personalities for that, like Thandya Thope, then Rani of Jhansi, who became India's Joan of Arc, and many others remained an unfailing source of inspiration for Indians for the latest struggle for freedom. That means the national sentiments made the Indians to fight against the Britishers. Now there are a few causes for the failure of the 1857. The first war of independence, some of the failure. Now what are the causes for the failure? The rising could not become all over the India because some of the states did not take part in this war, like Kashmir, Sindh, Rajputana, and some parts of Punjab. They did not take part in this struggle. So it has become a failure. Then comes the company had enough weapons and men to fight against the Indian people, whereas the rebels of India did not have modern weapons to fight. And also it started before the scheduled time. So that was another cause for the failure. And also most of the Indian society or the rulers, the zemindars, the big merchants did not take part in this struggle. So it has become a failure. That's what it says, that there are certain failure for the Revolt of 1857. The revolt of 1857 has many failures, and we had learned about many consequences. But actually, the nature of uprising was it was started as a revolt, a military revolt, and soon it had turned into a first war of independence. You know why? The whole parts of India, they had only one name. Though they came with diverse motives, they had only one name. They wanted to unite, they all united into one for what? To throw the Britishers out of India. So all the castes, the creeds, the regions, they all united to overthrow the British from India. This was the nature of the uprising. So in overall, when we are learning, there are many causes that they revolted. There are many causes for the Indians to revolt against the Britishers. So they started revolting because of the political, social, economic, and military causes that made the people that were adversely affected Indian people, so they fought against the Britishers. So it is very essential that India wants freedom from the Britishers. So they all united to get freedom or to overthrow the British from India. So our lesson, this first chapter came to an end. I just want to conclude it. Now, I want everybody to learn this lesson and write your important points, what all the important points is said in this class. You have to keep it in mind and study well so that I'll come with the next lesson, sometimes the second lesson. I'll come with the second lesson, then we will learn elaborately about the first war of independence. Thank you.